Good morning, everyone. Okay, good morning, students. How many present today? Am I audible? Am I audible to you? Yes. Okay, students. So today in our social science history class, we are going to discuss the rest of the part of that subunit, the administration and how did they consolidate their empire. Okay. So we'll continue that subunit from your history book. So those students have book, open your history book, it is page number 39, and in the subunit that take a closer look administration and consolidation under Khiljis and Tughlaqs. So previous class we have discussed the work of Mufti or Iqtadar. Okay, so Iqtadar is the people and who got some land grant as a salary. They don't give any money to them directly, but they grant some land, and from the revenue collected from that particular land is a salary considered as a salary of the Iqtadar or Mufti. Now, how did sultans manage the Muftis? It is not easy, but there is a difficulty that if you given grant to some people, it is not easy to maintain. Sometimes they become rebellious, sometimes they acquire the land illegally, sometimes they collected more revenue. Okay. So this type of problems was there. So to prevent this type of problem, the sultans of Delhi, they took some measures. Okay. And what are the measures? How did sultans manage the Mufti? Today we are going to discuss. Okay. How did sultans manage the Muftis? Okay. So this is the today's topic. So first, what happened? That their officers were not inheritable. Actually, the sultans, they put a strict restriction that their officers should not be inheritable. Means their son could not enjoy their post and the land. This is number one. Number two, what are the other measures? That they were assigned iqtars for a short period of time before being shifted. They were assigned the iqtars, and after a short span of time they were transferred, like today in government offices and in banks, other sectors, they transfer the people from one place to another place. So that time also they transferred those iqtadars from one iqta to another iqta, or and given and appointed in another post in a different state or province. Okay. So they assigned iqta for a short span of time. Okay, before transfer. Okay, so this is the very effective measures taken by them. Okay, so they assigned ICTA for a short span of time and before transfer to another land. Okay. Another one it is that accounts were appointed to check the amount collected by the muftis. Accountants were appointed. You know that every government and private sectors, they have some accountants who measure the accounts, do calculate everything and also keep the data. So this type of accountants also appointed to check the amount. Check the amount collected from land revenue. Number 4 is care was taken that the mufti collected only the stipulated taxes and the taxes prescribed by the state. If they would took some extra taxes, then they were punished. Okay, so it is not allowed in the Sultanate. So care was taken about extra collection of taxes. Extra collection of taxes or revenue. Okay. And another one was there. It is number 5. I am writing here. It is the number 5. What is the number 5? He kept a record number of soldiers. Okay. And Sultan managed the muftis that he had to keep a record number of soldiers. If that number of soldiers were not maintained by them, they were punished. Okay. Number of soldiers should be maintained by these people. So these are the 5 measures taken by the sultans, that officials could not be inheritable. Number 2, assigned ICTA for a short span of time before transfer, so their jobs also transferable. Number 3, accountants also appointed to check the amount collected from the revenue. Number 4, care was taken about extra collection of taxes, that they should not take extra taxes. And number 5, the record number of soldiers. They should maintain a record number of soldiers. If they should not maintain it, then their ICTA was taken away and given to someone else. Okay. Okay. Any questions, students, from this? How the sultans managed the muftis? Okay. So, okay, Shaptoshi, no problem. Then next one, when did they? So what happened after? How did the sultans, they control the areas beyond the reach of the Delhi? Okay, very far places from Delhi. That when they brought the hinterland under the control of local chieftains, Samanta, aristocrats and rich landlords were forced to accept their authority. When they first conquered these hinterlands of the cities and the areas beyond their reach, these areas mainly controlled by the chieftains. Okay, chieftains means Sardar or a head of a village or a community. Okay, as well as some Samanta. You know already who were called Samantas from Chola period. and rich landlords also, rich landowners and rich peasants. So they actually occupied these areas, and the Sultan, they forced them to accept their authority. Number 2, Alauddin Khalji brought the revenue assessment collection under his control, and he assessed the revenue each and every year. This is very important thing, that Alauddin Khilji, he assessed the revenue each year, and it is very effective. It was very effective at the time. Number 3, local chieftains also found to pay tax and lost the right of revenue collection. And previously, before the arrival of the Sultans, the local chieftains, they allowed to collect the revenue. But after the Iqtidari system, Mukti were responsible to collect the revenue, and the local chieftains, they had to pay tax on their own property, okay, same as the peasants. So in this way, the local chieftains also forced to pay tax and lost the right of revenue collection. So they curtail their power. So another one, Sultan's office. Sultan's officials measured the land and kept the data. They also make a land bank, and all the data of the particular land, the measurement of the land, the yearly production of the land, everything they kept as a record. Okay, so if some landlord or chieftain, say, or any peasant, they demanded that our land is this year our land not produced much, so it was denied. Okay, because they already kept some data, and government officials already measured the land and calculated the annual production of the agricultural field. So it is very fair. So next one, what happened, that some old landlords also served as revenue collector and as assessors under sultans. What happened, because the old landlords and chieftains, they were very much familiar with the land belong to their particular area. Okay, so instead of appointing some people from Delhi, okay, for their other places, they appointed some people from that region, the old revenue collectors or landlords, and they were now appointed as the official for the sultans, who assess the revenue, who measure the land, assess the revenue after calculating the annual produce. Okay, so in this way, the old people, they also appointed as the assessors as well as the collector of the land revenue, sometimes under the iqtidars. So this is the way how did they control the revenue administration of the Delhi Sultanate, those areas beyond their reach. Now, how many types of taxes collected at that time? This is very important. How many types of taxes collected at that time? Mainly at the time, 3 types of taxes collected. Number 1, it is called kharaj. Okay, kharaj means 50% of the produce, 50% of the revenue or the agricultural produce, they had to give as a kharaj or land revenue. Okay, number 2, it is the gharai, or house tax. Today also, you know that in panchayat areas and municipal areas, every citizen and every resident had to pay some sort of taxes. Okay, so at the time also, they also submitted some kind of taxes on their houses. If they make houses or they lived in a house, so they had to pay a tax. This is called gharai or house tax. Number 3, it is charai or cattle tax. Not only cattle, it is also other animals they herding. So if they herding animals, they had to pay some type of taxes. It is called charai or cattle tax also. Okay. So these are the main 3 taxes in the time of Alauddin Khilji, collected from the area under the Delhi Sultanate. Okay. So I hope you have understood the tax portion. Okay. Now another thing happened, that control beyond the Gangetic plains, and how did they control the areas situated beyond the Gangetic plains? That provinces like Sindh and Bengal very much difficult to control at that time. Okay, the provinces, those are very far from the Delhi, they are very much difficult to control. We have already read. Forest areas in Gangetic plains, these areas also ruled by local chieftains. Okay, and sultans have no control in the forest areas. Some forest tribal people and their chieftains ruled inside the forest, and they lived inside the forest area. And it was very much difficult to conquer those forest states and to capture those people with the army. Ibn Battuta, a 14th century traveler from Morocco, Africa, visited India around 1330. Okay, Ibn Battuta, its name is also important, Ibn Battuta. And he wrote a book, Kitabul Rahla. It is not mentioned, I think, in your book. Rahla or Rahila. Okay. So in this Kitabul Rahla, Ibn Battuta mentioned that how these chieftains were so much powerful that the Sultan's huge army cannot conquer their states, and most of them lived in the bamboo fort inside the dense forest. Okay. So soon after annexing the South India, the South Indian states also declare independence from the Delhi Sultanate. And Alauddin and Muhammad Tughlaq only forced their control for a short duration. So the South Indian states also beyond their control, and it is very much difficult to control those states in South India. So that's why some Vijayanagar and Bahmani Sultanate established there in Bengal, like Ilyas Shahi and Hussain Shahi dynasty, they also established. Okay, because these are not very easy to control. Okay. Moreover, another problem was there. The Chengiz Khan, okay, the terror of Asia, Chengiz Khan, the great Mongol leader, invaded Transoxiana in 1219 AD. Chengiz Khan invaded India in 1219 AD. Okay. So remember the spelling, it is little bit difficult. Chengiz Khan. Chengiz Khan invaded India in Transoxiana in 1219 AD. And what happened? That he also captured the northeast of Iran, and the Delhi Sultanate also faced their attack soon after. They slaughtered the Delhi, entire Delhi, millions of the people were killed in Indian subcontinent. Okay. And in Alauddin Khilji's reign, the early years and also the early years of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Mongol attacks increased in Delhi, and again they attacked Delhi and killed all the people of the Delhi and plundered all the wealth, gold, silver, jewelry, everything from Delhi. And both of them mobilized. So that's why, to prevent the Mongol attack again and again, both of them mobilized a huge army, standing army, and established the forts of Delhi in Kuna, Tughlaqabad, okay, etc. Siri Fort. So all these forts they established and stationed their army there to prevent the Mongol attack. Okay. So next class we will discuss that how did Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq they protect the Mongol attack by various means, accepting various policies. Okay. And also we compare their policies. So I hope you have understand. If you have any other question, No, Genghis Khan not ruled in India. He ruled in Transoxiana, the place in today in Uzbekistan, some part of Turkmenistan, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. It is situated in the north of India, northwest of India. Okay. Those countries, today these are called Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, okay, and some part of Russia also. Okay, so Genghis Khan is very powerful ruler. He devastated all the region, and all the rulers, they are shivering on the name of Genghis Khan. Okay. Mobilize means to move one place to another place. They moved all these soldiers, they placed them into the forts established around the Delhi, like Delhi, Kuna, the Siri fort, the Tughlaqabad, okay, to prevent this. Okay, I hope you have understood. Any question you can ask me. Chieftains. Chieftain means Sardar, okay, the leader of the groups, they are called chieftains. Saptarshi, Aditya, any question? Ornesha, I think you have understand. Okay. So, so that's all from today's class. See you in the next class with another subunit from history. Okay. So, thank you.